Here's how you can complete the QR section of UCAT without doing any maths. The following table details some nutritional information for foods per 100 grams. Daily recommended intake, 2,000 kilocalories for calories, 30 grams for sugar, and 50 grams for fat. Obviously, we're not going to worry about reading the table first. We're going to jump straight to the question. Which food has the highest fat to calorie ratio? Here, what a lot of students make the mistake of doing is going through each of these options and calculating the fat to calorie ratio. However, this is the wrong attitude. You should be trying to minimize doing actual maths as much as possible in QR, leaving it all to mental maths or just comparing values to save as much time as you can. In this case, the easiest way to compare fat to calorie ratios of these different categories is to compare the fats of each category and the calories of each category. If the fat to calorie ratio is to increase, you would see the fats increase at a greater proportion than the calories. So, comparing our first two, you can see that the jump from pizza to milk chocolate multiplies by almost 2.5 times, whereas for calories from pizza to milk chocolate, you see it's a little less than 2 times. In other words, since the fat has increased at a greater proportion than the fats, you can say for sure that the fat to calorie ratio is greater for milk chocolate than pizza. We'll repeat this process. Again, from milk chocolate to muesli, you can see that it's almost a sixth of the fat. However, it's only half of the calories, which means that the fat to calorie ratio has decreased. This means that milk chocolate is still our highest fat to calorie ratio. Using this, we're going to keep comparing with milk chocolate. So, going to the next step, milk chocolate and donuts, you can see that the fat is around 3/4 for donuts as it is for milk chocolate. However, for calories, it's about 80%, or 0.8 for donuts as it is for milk chocolate. Again, the fat to calorie ratio has decreased. Finally, we'll compare our fats and calories of milk chocolate and cereal. 29.5 to 4.8 is again about 1/6. And for calories, you can see that 526 to 402 is about 80% again. So again, the fat to calorie ratio has decreased. Since we were unable to find any fat to calorie ratio higher than milk chocolate, then you can say for sure that that is our highest fat to calorie ratio. And therefore, our answer is B. Follow to ace your UCAT.